Whatever. Whatever, YouTube. Try and sell me on some new feature. Ain't nobody got time for that, YouTube. Nobody. Oh, hi. I'm a sailor now. Did you know that? I sail. I went out by myself on a boat way far away from the dock. Ahoy! Baby steps onto a boat. Baby steps onto a boat. Well, I know it's after your time. I saw the Pokemon music in the first few games. The best. Oh my god, get out. I wanna be the very cringest, like no cringe ever was. Dun dun dun. I'm 20 plus and watch Pokemon. I'm the cringe lord. Cringy shit. You're not a kid. You're fucking 35 now, Pokemon. It's time to find something else to meme about all day. Pokemon. It was cool when you were 10, but now it's gotten super cringe, Pokemon. It's time for you to let it go. Your virginity's starting to show. Pokemon. I'm on a boat, Lonely Island, yeah. Boats and Hoes by Prestige Worldwide. The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, out eating wife's pussy while I'm drinking sangria. Boats and hoes, boats and hoes. Gotta have me my boats and hoes. Prestige, world, wide. Bro, that's the fucking best movie. Dude, Zeke, legit, I almost fucking called you today, dog. I almost called you today, but I felt bad because it was like after 5 already. I was like, dude, I need to swim, bro. I called my mom. I'm going to swim at my mom's house tomorrow. I was like, I need to submerge my body in some fucking water today because this is not working for me. I was that close. I was like, dude, I'm gonna take Zeke up on that swim, bro. Almost happened. Was there anything as big as Pokemon in your childhood? Yeah, well, maybe not as big as Pokemon. Pokemon's like the biggest the biggest IP in the world, right? So yeah, no. But there was like Transformers and GI Joes and Ninja Turtles. There was like a bunch of different stuff. House under construction, but come on by, yeah, it's all good, dog. I told my mom, I was like, I'm coming over tomorrow to swim. She was like, oh, well, all right, come on over. Like, yep, I am. Hi from Korea. Hope you're doing well. I am doing okay. I'm a little hot here, and I just looked at the fucking heat index for the next few days on my phone, and it said we're gonna have 2 days straight of 115. That is absolutely unbearable heat. That's like kill you if you're sitting outside too long fucking heat, bro. It's like almost 9 p.m. here, and it's still over 90 degrees. I'm still sweating, you see me? And I cannot tell you how fucking glad I'm going to be to leave this place in the dust and never come back to it ever again in the summer. I will visit. Uncle PJ will visit in the winter. Yep. Just is what it is, man. There was nothing that fucking big or even approaching that big that every fucking kid was into. I mean, maybe Nintendo or something. I don't know. I might be wrong about all that shit. Like there might have been like something that was like per capita as big, but I just don't remember there ever being something where like me and every kid was all into it at once. You know, my friends like Ninja Turtles. Some other people like the Thundercats. I mean, I liked them both. But I was definitely a Ninja Turtle over Thundercats guy. It's 11 where I am and still 90 degrees. I hate it here, bro. I feel your fucking pain. If I'm lucky, here in like an hour, it'll drop down to like 85, and I'll feel way better, but I don't get lucky very often. Garfield and Friends, yeah, dude. Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. That's right, come on in. It's time to party with Garfield and Friends. I liked that show too. That was a good show. But it was not my favorite show. Yeah, the both genders thing is the thing that like pushes Pokemon over the edge, because there's cool ones for boys and there's cute ones for girls, and it's like it really is a well-designed thing. They were making it for all demographics. It's got Ash and Misty, so the girls have somebody, the boys have somebody. It's just a very well-designed IP. Create a bunch of like endless little cool plush toys to sell and come up with endless ways to make kids purchase them as cards and toys and video game. I mean, it's a money printing factory. It's like every like toy manufacturer wants that toy. They want a toy that's like gender neutral. See, back in my day, they used to market more to like boys and girls. I think they still do it, but it was way more delineated. Like, I feel like now they're trying to get boys and girls to play with some of the same shit. Last time I was in a Toys R Us to like pick up a toy for a present for a kid, I remember thinking like, whoa, these like gendered aisles are way less than they used to be. Garfield and Friends was, my friends are Mormon and thought other shows were too violent. Oh. Poor little Mormons. Are you Marvel or DC? I'm neither. I'm not a fucking... When I was a kid, when I did collect comic books, I was a Marvel guy, but I really don't care. What brand do you smoke? Have you ever heard of the Band brand? It's a crazy brand of smokes. It's like getting banned for asking a stupid question out of in a chat room. You ever heard of that brand? You ever smoked that brand? Here, take a hit. It goes down smooth, doesn't it? The chat is moving extra slow tonight. I think people like, maybe they can feel. Maybe they can feel that it's like that Paul's ego's on a short fuse tonight. My brand. Yeah, banned 100s, dude. Extra slick fucking 100s, bro. Banned as fuck. Paul, what's your favorite type of person to ban? It's a good question. I think like actually guys, because they really think, they have this narrative in their head that they're going to correct some like completely inconsequential fucking thing about a rant, and that the entire world is going to stand up and clap. And I like that instead the entire world watches them get banned. That's my favorite. An actually guy, like one of those dudes that lives to correct, especially if it's a dude that corrected me but corrected me incorrectly. like thought he should correct me, but I was actually right. That's the juiciest band on the block right there, bro. That's the hottest band. That's the hottest band. Like, that's one that'll get me to touch the screen and do it myself. Like, usually I throw it to the fucking moderators, but if I see one of those, somebody done corrected me about something I know to be true, and they're trying to be smug about it, bro, that band, nothing feels better in the band world than that band right there. In the world of bands, nothing feels better. That's the best band. It's like a steak dinner with a baked potato of a band. It's like several shows worth of bands in terms of intensity. Yeah, Confidently Wrong is the best band. It's the greatest band ever. I love it. I love thinking too that I sent them off and that they're probably stupid and think that they were banned because they were correct. You know what I mean? That's my favorite thing, because they don't even like learn a lesson. They think they won. It's hilarious. Sitting in a dark room playing Zelda Majora's Mask while listening to this stream is a great way to spend a Monday night. Cool. Yeah, I never liked Zelda all that much, or the 3D Zeldas all that much. But you do you. Majora's Mask is the best one, I'll give you that, but I've never been a big fan of the 3D Zeldas. Actually, that's not true. My favorite 3D Zelda was Wind Waker. But outside of that, they all look so different from Wind Waker to me that I have a hard time. My 6-year-old hasn't outgrown Confidently Wrong yet. It's disheartening. Well, I mean, 6-year-old is 6, though. You know, they're supposed to be confidently wrong. You just, you keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's an excuse. 6 is an excuse. I love the TJ gauntlet. That Scotty clown is going to live rent-free. I know, dude. That was fucking nuts, bro. Voosh is in a mental breakdown mode and lashing out at folks looking for guidance. When do we start the general strike? You tell me, brother. Yeah, you tell me. I've been asking that question for a very long time. A one-man strike who isn't even in the labor force anymore is not really all that great. You know? I snapped my apartment key in my lock today, but luckily I have a spare easily accessible. It just sucks. But never mind, dude. Never mind. Happy Canada Day. Oof. Yeah. It's pretty cute, man. It's pretty cute. It's good to know that Vosh has been a little hot under the collar lately. He's feeling the fucking pressure, bro. There's got to be at least a few people in his audience that are like, wait. So all that shit you've been talking about, the vote blue thing and how riding with Biden and wearing his fucking hat and his fucking t-shirt, all that shit, now you're walking that back and you're not going to fucking like, you don't even talk about it? You're just going to act like you were correct the whole time? Do you like to cook? I do, but only certain things. I get really like overwhelmed if there's a really like detailed recipe, or like baking. Baking is tough for me, but like the funny thing is I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat for 10 months now, and I probably never will again, but like I can cook a mean fucking hamburger. I can cook a mean chicken breast, ribs, like a tri-tip all wrapped up and fucking slow and low on juices and bark on it. I can do the whole, I'm really good with like barbecue stuff, and I enjoy doing that type of shit. Oh yeah, shrimp ceviche is fucking great. Ceviche in general, top tier. It's such a great like summer party kind of pool party thing. Ceviche. I don't know what I'm gonna like bring tomorrow to my mom's house. I want to bring some lunch. Have to figure something out. Casual ceviche enjoyer. I realize it's super easy to make a tres leches cake at home, and it's a new yeah. Ceviche is fish and shrimp and mussels and a bunch of herbs and spices, peppers, and they are cooked in the acid from a lemon or a lime, or sometimes both. So the citric acid, they're never cooked. You just put your fish and your shrimp in the ceviche along with everything else, and you let the acid in the citric acid. You let that cook ceviche. It's really fucking good, man. I'm the quesadilla master. I can make a pretty dank quesadilla. Good at eggs. I'm good at a lot of different meats. I'm passable on like pancakes and stuff, but that's about it, man. Like, I really don't cook very well anything else. I can make a salad. I can make a mean salad. I can make a mean mashed potatoes. And pretty much any kind of barbecued meat is, you know, in good hands with me. I know I don't eat meat.
So you're saying you like ceviche, but you don't like sushi?
Yeah. Ceviche's cooked. It is. It's just
Very
not cooked
similar.
by heat. It's cooked by acid, but it's still cooked. It's not raw. But I love ceviche. Not so much the lumps of like whitefish that they put in it, but like a shrimp ceviche. I'll eat that all day. Are you still eating cheese? Yes. I'm a lacto-ovo pescatarian. Figure that out. I don't know. It's what works for me. It's not like something that I'm doing for the ethical considerations first. So I don't like try and recruit people into it. Saw the shrimp. Ceviche is not raw. The shrimp will turn from gray to pink. Yeah. Yeah, it just takes a while for it to cook in the acid. It's really good though. Yeah, side of pinto beans. Or like Mexican rice. That's pretty much how it works. Or black beans are good too on the side of that. Dude, look at Greg S. toddling in here and asking me, like, what happened to Trump? Did he end up getting in any trouble? It's like, dude, imagine that you go into a live stream and that's where you get your news. Bro, type in CNN.com or AP.com would work too. You could do that. Hell, even type in like drudgereport.com or foxnews.com. I mean,
ask ChatGPT.
go to the ChatGPT, which is free, by the way.
Or I mean, you can't get up to date stuff on the free version of ChatGPT.
Well, whatever. You can ask what's going on with Trump.
Yeah.
Anything but coming in. I mean, but like, couldn't you sate your curiosity just as fast by typing what's going on with Trump into Google? Is that a thing where you're from? Do you have the Google on your phone? I'm just wondering. Wah, 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 wah. Hey, Paul, what's going on in space today? Nothing. This is ground control to Major Paul. Any possum in the BBQ yet? No, never barbecued a possum yet. Plans for Halloween? What, in like 6 months? Get him out. Get the Scouser again out too. That's a dumbass fucking question. 2 dumbass fucking questions. Bang, boom, pow, get him. I don't mind questions. I just don't like dumbass meme lord questions. Tried to ban him and it didn't go through at first. That's fine. It's okay. It's just disheartening when your chat is fucking stupid as shit. And you're like, oh no, man. My bad. I often associate conversations with conversing. It's a real bad habit I picked up now. Ban him too. Ban him too. He picked up dude, that's the smuggest fucking bullshit excuse for not Googling something that I've ever heard in my fucking life, bro. Get out. Dude, the bans are just tumbling. Crack a fucking book. Whew. Crack one all the way open. Monday chats are the stupidest. Are they? Have you really noticed like a pattern? Is Monday the dumb day? I mean, the hammer usually doesn't have to fall this hard. Because I'm not like, dude, all I'm asking is that you make sense. Yeah, well, we'll get Cockatoo will have their day. See? More Stoopy. Vosh mentioned you on stream. Oh! Vosh mentioned Paul on stream. Whoop! That's my favorite fucking noise he's ever made, bro. When that fucking lolly popped up on the screen. Whoop! And the way it's like perfectly cut by him cutting the stream. That shit is fire. I don't care who you are. Do-do-do-do-do-do. $2024 has been pretty fucking cool so far. It's been a little wild, but it's been fun.
Looking at shrimp ceviche recipes, and almost all of them are like cooking the shrimp just to be extra safe.
That's some pussy shit. That's just because they're afraid people are gonna dip it in there and not eat it right. You're just supposed to let if you use the right kind of stuff and you leave it long enough, it will cook that shrimp all the way through. And it's good for you too. It's a very bright and refreshing and citrusy delight. Might I say delight? Yes.
Well, if you find a recipe, I'll make it next time I go grocery shopping.
Deal.
If you find the right recipe that you want.
Deal. Deal. I'll get my mom's. Yeah. I'll ask her for her shrimp ceviche recipe. She makes it, she used to make it a lot. I know she's got one tucked away. Shrimp is god awful. Shrimp is bullshit. What?
Are you overcooking your shrimps?
Phoebe, please. How the fuck you gonna live in Missouri or Mississippi or wherever the fuck you are, and you don't like shrimp?
You're overcooking your shrimp, or you're.
Are you making rubbery shrimps? Because if you hate them because they're rubbery, you're just having hockey puck shrimps. That's a shrimp that's been cooked to death. You don't gotta skin shrimp at the table. What kind of shrimps you been fed? No, man, you peel the shrimp before you cook the shrimp most of the time.
Yeah. If you don't like the peel on shrimp, then take the peel off, or get the ones that's already pre-peeled.
Yeah. Shrimp Alfredo, shrimp po' boy, fried shrimp, shrimp and potatoes, shrimp burger, shrimp and sausage, shrimp and grits.
You look it up on YouTube on how to peel a shrimp. It took me a while, but you gotta use a fork, and then it's like 100 times easier.
Yeah.
You just stick a fork in, you go, and then you take the stupid little poop vein out. If you don't want to do that, you can get the peeled deveined shrimp.
Yeah, you can get them that way, but you can peel them too. It ain't no, like, yeah, it's easier. Cold shrimp is ass, but other than that, it's goated.
Oh, you mean like cocktail
shrimp? I mean, yeah, it's not my favorite way to have shrimp, but it's pretty good. It's tasty. Yeah, there's poop inside. You gotta get the poop vein out. Gotta cut out the poo vein.
I feel like they should just call it a colon so people understand that it's not just blood and they gotta take it out. If you call it a vein, people think, oh, it's filled with blood.
Yeah, but I mean, it's called the poop vein. It's a vein filled with poop. I mean, there's poop inside of every animal that you eat. I hope you know. Yeah, garlic butter on shrimp is good. I love like Cajun shrimp or like spicy pan-fried shrimp with cayenne pepper and or like blackened shrimp. Blackened. Oh yeah, blackened shrimp.
Why do you never tell me these things until like I just overhear you on a stream?
Because I don't think of it. I don't ever think of it. No, I like shrimp. It's just like pan frying shrimp is hard. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. It's easy to overcook them. It's easy to burn them. It's easy to over caramelize. It's not a super easy, like it's easier to make like cocktail or ceviche or like a shrimp pasta where it's all cooking together. Like just having shrimp, you gotta like, you know, it's all kinds of stuff.
You do like that one shrimp pasta I make.
Yeah, it's great. I love that. I love a shrimp Alfredo. It's great. I like a ceviche. It's pretty good. Throw some shrimp in the gumbo in the last 5 minutes. Yes. You always add your shrimp last in the gumbo. Because it cooks so quick. Then you want to eat it quick too. You want to serve up your gumbo quick. My mom eats the shrimp tails. I don't eat the tails. Homemade alligator nuggies with remoulade dipping sauce. Yeah, see. Pass on that.
I haven't had gator, but I've had turtle.
I've had gator. Gator tastes like chicken. You can taste the genetic lineage of reptiles to birds. Let's just put it that way.
Like
And typically
dogs.
the only thing you eat on a gator is their tail. Everything else on a gator is pretty, like, I guess you could probably get some meat off of the torso and the arms and shit, but most of that good meat that you're going to want to eat on a gator is going to be on the tail. And it just tastes like chicken, man. I've eaten rattlesnake too. That tasted like chicken as well. I had rattlesnake chili one time and it was really good, but it tasted like lumps of chicken in it. That's all. Cow balls sounds good. Oh, you go ahead and try that. I think I'll pass on that.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yep. Yep. Frog does taste like chicken as well. Crocodilians and birds are closer to each other than either are to reptiles. Yeah, I'm sure. Why are you saying Gator like that? Gator? Oh, didn't you know I spent some time down the swamp way? Lived on the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain. Hunted gator. Fought with gator. Gator break into your house. You don't have to know how to kick it out. You're gonna have to know how to extricate that gator from your house. I picked up the accent when I was down there. I know how they talk. I know how they think. I know what they like. I know what they don't like. I know what they eat, you know? I know what they think. I know what they sleep, where they sleep in their house. You did none of that with a gator? You calling me a fucking liar? You calling me a crawdad? Is that what you calling me? You saying I'm crawfish? Boy, you lucky you not down here in Louisiana. Get your mouth busted open for calling somebody a liar down here. You better hold your tongue, boy. It's not much different, you know, than like a general Southern accent. It just has a little bit of that Creole in it. Once you learn how to augment your normal accent with a little bit of that there Creole, you could talk gumbo. You could talk Louisiana. How old are you? I'm 44 years old. 44 and a lot of change now. 44 and 6 months? Something like that.
What? You're already 44.
I said 44 and 6 months.
Oh, sorry.
No, not in 6 months. No, we're good. Ban Amelia, she's an actually guy. She just actually guyed me. She's banned.
I'm sorry.
No,
Maybe I
no,
just
it was,
misheard you.
it's a total joke. I was joking. You can actually me anytime you want. Remember, that was in our vows.
Yeah.
You may actually me whether you're right or wrong. Till death do we part.
You've gotten your age wrong a couple times before.
That's true. It's usually pretty easy to remember too.
Yeah.
Because I was born in a fucking
Even year.
Not just an even year, but I was born at the beginning of a decade. I was born in 1980. So it's like especially in the 2020s or whatever, all I have to do is just add 20 to the end of the year, and that's me. It'll be a little different once we get up past 2030, but, well, no.
Nope.
Still add 20 to the year. Fuck.
It was, you threw me off because you forgot how long it's been since you graduated high school earlier. That's why.
Yeah. It's really different, too. Like, the type of Cajun accent that I'm using is really kind of, like, uniquely along the coast near New Orleans and in the small island communities and the bayou communities. You will hear a little twinge of that in people's voices, but I swear to God, on the North Shore of Pontchartrain, people talk like this. Hi, what can I do for you? All right. I mean, that's about as twangy as it gets over there. Get down into the quarter, you'll hear more of that spice, but you're really not going to hear the way I'm talking unless you go like to a fishing town, or you spend time on the coast, or you spend time like on Lake Pontchartrain and shit. Oh yeah, no, the South is pretty. I mean, like, the thing about the South is I've never seen anything there that I couldn't see elsewhere. And most of it that I couldn't see in California. Like, the only thing that I've seen in the South, and I've been all over that motherfucker, that I could not see in California is the Mississippi River Delta. There's nothing like that in California. The Mississippi River in general is the fucking hugest river I've ever seen with my eyes, right? There's nothing like that in Cali. But that's it. Can't see Indian mounds everywhere. You can see them in California. I do like the Mississippi. It is beautiful. But not worth being in the South. No, the first time I crossed the Mississippi, I thought we were going out over an inlet. And then I realized we were over the river. It's absurd. It's such a fucking absurd thing. Hey, Paul, just moved to the Bay out of dismal California Valley, moved out of Lodi. Okay, where did you move to? Like, where in the Bay? If you don't mind saying. Are you East Bay, West Bay, North Bay? Where are you at? That makes a difference to me. Because there are places in the Bay I would maybe move to, and there are places in the Bay that I probably wouldn't move to. But either way, you just upgraded your fucking weather by like tenfold, so congrats on that. And I'll be honest with you, I'm heading up Northern California way as soon as I fucking can, bro. A little farther up than you, though. I'm gonna scoop a little bit more better weather out of it than you, but that's okay. Here's something to sleep on about the South. The vast majority of the Deep South is powered by hydropower outside of Texas, and it's well-managed hydro. No, that's good. That's a great thing. It's a destructive fucking thing, too, though. The Mississippi River was probably one of the most biodiverse rivers in the world, and I bet that biodiversity has been cut in half or more.
And the problem, too, is with
since the dams.
That drought that they were having last year, that fucks up hydropower real bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the water levels aren't where
water levels down below the suck. I remember that being a problem down there. Water levels are fucking down below, and they're just drawing air into the fucking system for the hydropower. That don't work. So that, you know, hydropower is beautiful when you're not in the midst of a fucking horrifying drought. The Mississippi River is too big for hydropower. I don't think there's even are any dams throughout most of it. There are dams on the Mississippi. They're gated dams so that shipping lanes can go through it. But there wouldn't be hydropower on the Mississippi River Delta without dams. You have to dam up part of the river and let it go through the turbines. So it might not be fully dammed, but partially damming a river does horrible damage to the biodiversity. The Tennessee River is heavily dammed, yes. What? I don't know if they do hydropower off the Mississippi, but if they do, there's dams. Time for my stretches. This is my, I've been doing it almost 4 times a day now, babe.
Yeah.
And I'm doing 6 squats now instead of 3.
Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking about bumping it up again next week.
Yeah. I made it a little cooler in there now that the sun's down.
Oh, thank you.
Plug the car in too.
No. It's a little hard for me with the flat feet, I think. I looked into it and like,
You just can't have
well,
this
you would think,
kind of balance.
doesn't make it impossible for me, but it's gonna make it harder for me.
Yeah, because you can't go back and forth to.
I can't, yeah. It's like the ball of your foot and your heel acts like a pivot point, right? And my feet are just flat.
Yeah. 'Cause you can see when I'm
And
doing
so
it,
like
kind
it's
of, like,
there's a
rolling back and
wobbliness,
forth.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, this one probably is just way too much, huh?
Yeah, just on my back. I'd like to work up to some of those types of things. The chair does not look comfortable. You'd be surprised. I mean, it's not the most comfortable chair, but it's a really well-built rocking chair that has pretty good back support if I'm kicked back like this. The problem with this is like I can't sit like this for long. My back is so fucked that just
it
like
feels
sitting.
good to be straight, but then you hate it when you get back up.
Yeah, if I were to, I could try and keep it like this for a stream. What's the best beer?
It used to be Newcastle.
Newcastle before it sucked. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm out of the beer game. I like a Modelo. I like a fucking. I don't know. I like a Corona. I like a good, like, because now when I drink beer, it's usually just like on easy drinking night like this, you know, we're just kind of chilling. I'll have a couple beers. But, you know, now I don't really do that anymore. By the way, you randomly popped up my shorts feed. I remember the DPP days. Crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. Welcome back. Still here doing it. Still blowing the brains out the coop.
What about this one? Try this.
That might be nice. I'll try it. Also, hydropower is produced on the upper Mississippi, which is all the river upstream of Cairo, Illinois. The lower Mississippi is too massive, yeah. Yeah, but all those dams in upper Mississippi, all the hydropower dams and the collect sites, all of those have damaged. See, a river is like a vein. And when you dam a river, you keep the fucking blood cells, in this case, organisms, from flowing freely through the vein. So it's like it's like a blockage in an artery. And what happens when you block an artery and blood flow stops to a body? It dies, right? You get gangrene. So the Mississippi, along with every other dammed up fucking river, has gangrene. It's probably got about 1/10 of the fish that were formerly found in it. It's probably got tons of microplastics and pollutants. And it's been decimated. I know, but I do think there's a trade-off discussion to be had given our society's reliance on electricity. Yeah, the trade-off is kill the biodiversity of the planet in our pursuit of electricity, or put every resource on this planet towards the research of our alternative fuel sources, whatever they may be, and start using those now. You know? I mean, yeah. You know me, I'm a little bit of a fucking deep green resistance guy. I know what dams do to an ecosystem. They destroy a river. They destroy bodies of water.
You don't want to fuck the ecosystem too much, but that's how most of the mass extinctions happened.
Yeah. Well, we're already living in the midst of the 6th. So we want to accelerate that. We want to dam up the rivers more. I don't, but, you know, I also think it's fucking blithe and ignorant when I see Joe Rogan talking to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk says, you could power the United States with the 150 square miles of solar. And Joe's like, oh, so you just, dude, go watch the clip. Joe goes, oh, so you just find like a dead zone where there's nothing and just cover it in solar. And Elon's like, yeah. 150 kilometers of dead zone? And it shows a picture of a desert. You know how fragile and diverse and dense an ecosystem the deserts of the United States are? And it just goes to show you that fucking bro Rogan kind of thinking. Oh, we just take it to a place where there's nothing and there'll be no backlash for destroying the complete ecosystem. Cool, man. Yeah, that place is called maybe Antarctica.
Even then, only parts of Antarctica.
Yeah.
Part that we probably haven't even gone to, but it's so deep inland.
Yeah, that was retarded. Joe Rogan is retarded.
He's just a bro that doesn't
Yep.
argue with anyone, basically.
Joe Rogan is a perfect example of what you get when you have a really curious mind that loves to learn esoteria, but never went to school for it. So you've got a Dunning-Kruger victim who has heard some smart people say some smart things and plays a game of telephone in his brain and brings that shit out anytime. That's why you see him do stupid shit like, remember that one time when when Trump when Biden said something, I don't know, Biden said something about the airports or whatever.
Oh, yeah, like the airports and World War.
And the dude was like, I think Trump said that.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it was Biden, man. And Jamie was like, actually, it's Trump. And then he fucking swept for Trump. He just had a bad day. He just got it wrong. You know, people get it wrong. Just a barefaced, naked sophist, bro. It's a dude that will believe any fucking thing in the world, bro. Anything in the world. If somebody has PhD at the end of their name and they're willing to say some crazy shit like aliens are real, he'll sit there and listen and believe every fucking word of it.
It doesn't even require that. Like, if they've just written a book, that's about all he needs.
Yeah. They've written a well-read book on aliens or psychic phenomena. That's all he needs.
He'll agree with, like, completely contradictory people.
Yeah. He said that anyone who said the airport thing is done and should retire, but took it right back when he found out Trump said it. Would you agree that hydropower is less damaging than spewing carbon into the atmosphere? Not at this point, no. Less damaging and more damaging is not the kind of talk when you're talking about the death of the planet and the ecosystem. So here's what we need. We need to put everything on triage now. You know what triage is? When a patient has multiple injuries or multiple complications, they're put in a stability state so that they stabilize, right? That's what we need. And that includes stopping any plans to dam up any more rivers and starting to think about ones that we can undam and starting to transfer away from the types of electricity generating things that destroy whole swaths of land, whether it's destroyed by fucking deforestation or coal smoke destroying the local fucking flora and fauna, or a nuclear meltdown that makes the place uninhabitable because it's irradiated for the next 10,000 years, or damming up a river biome and watching all the fucking trout disappear from America. You know, trout used to run the Mississippi so thick that horses were afraid to cross over bridges because the teeming mass of fish below were so frightening to the horses that people had trouble. Like, they had to figure out a way to get the horses across bridges when the salmon were spawning up and down the Mississippi. Like, do you realize, like, the level of biodiversity that's been lost in this country as a result of our pursuit for ever more cheap, easy, non-renewable energy? Because that's exactly what a river is. A river is not renewable.
Well, the thing, too, with our power is we have to reduce the demand, and there's a lot of easy ways to do that just take money, but people don't want to invest in. Like,
it's called a law right now that every state and municipality has to open up a program to get solar on the top of every eligible home and
seal them up. And
there has to be a rule going forward that no home can be built of any kind that does not have full solar panel array on the roof and is fully properly sealed. That's step one. And it'll
They've-
never happen.
They've done studies that, like, if people just inflated their tires
Yeah.
properly,
Yeah.
that they'd save a bunch of fucking gas
Mhm.
just from tire pressure.
I mean, there's a ton of shit that could be done that nobody wants to touch because it would require people to do things differently. And anytime you change the way people are doing, anytime you tell people you're going to have to cut back
Well,
on
they
this or
don't
do
like-
more of that.
They don't like solar because it takes money away from the power companies.
Exactly. And they also, and people don't like solar because they don't want to go through a week of having people nailing and drilling things up on their roof and shit, even if it's free. There's a lot of people that just think it's green hooey, right? So they're dragging ass, living in a fucking 1910 level coal burning furnace fucking piece of shit house. It just doesn't work. Those types of places have to be wiped off the map. I'm sorry, unless it's an old historical building or something, all these old tenement buildings need to be knocked into their footprint, and that means the people in them need to be rehoused, right? There needs to be a huge initiative in this country to make housing its number one fucking thing. Because California is busting at the seams, guys. Can I tell you, from California, you're homeless, and by the way, that is the answer to why more homeless people live in California, because California, number one, does more for homeless people than any other fucking state in the country, and number two, has the mildest climate at its coast. So that's why California is literally busting at the seams with your homeless, and it's full. We can't do it. So we're going to have to figure out a way to repatriate some of the money that we give you for your oil spill cleanups and your disaster relief. We're going to have to figure it out here in California because we can't go like this. People are just living in tents on every open spot. It's unsustainable.
I mean, the whole, like, let's make America great again, let's go back to the 1950s. What about the 1950s stuff, like every bottle was glass instead of plastic,
Yeah.
and it was recycled?
Or you didn't go get milk in a jug. The milkman came and collected your glass deposit bottles and gave you 2 fresh ones for the week.
Yeah.
How about that? How about that? That worked.
Things were wrapped in paper.
If you wanted to go get liquid, you brought a big glass container with a
Yeah.
cork, and you weighed it right there. You did the tear weight, you filled it up, you did the fucking thing, you were charged. That was it. People don't want to do that, though. Oh, I have to bring my own bag. People won't even bring their own bags. People almost had a riot when California fucking banned plastic bags.
And the ban was so lenient, too. It's like, oh, we'll charge you 10 cents a bag. And people are like, whatever, fuck.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll
An
take
extra
it.
50 cents?
Yeah, I'll
Fuck
take it.
Yeah.
It's just garbage.
And then they made stronger plastic bags so people would bring the plastic bags back, but that just means there's more plastic in the plastic bags that people are getting every time.
Yep. There needs to be a different kind of solar collection. We need to treat it more like we've treated windmills.
Mm-hmm.
Windmills do disrupt local ecosystems, but far less than covering it wall to wall with solar panels would.
Mm-hmm.
So what about giant high density solar panels that are pushed up off the ground by a strong pole and held by a gimbal that can point it towards the sun?
Yeah, like a disc
Right.
rotating around.
Like a big disc, but it's way off the fucking ground, so that it provides nothing to the ground but like what a big shade tree would.
Yeah.
And the base of it is, probably as big around that I probably couldn't hug it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like 10 feet in diameter, and then you dot those around the landscape, right? So that little critters can live around them. You'd have to come up with some way to keep birds from perching on them, but they figured that out with these big fucking towers. They put spikes on them and shit, just make them spiky. About to go into business and IT. Do you have any advice for me? Get some certifications. Get as many get your Network Plus, get your C++, get your Microsoft certification, your Apple cert. It will never do you wrong. It will never do you wrong in the IT business ever to have more certifications than the other guy. And I'll be honest with you, C++ and Network Plus are both really worth doing. Like if you're going to be working IT, just in general.
Because you had to do it by the seat of your pants, pretty much.
I had to do it. I didn't get to do Network Plus until I'd been at the job for 6 years. And I never got to do C++ because it just wasn't needed. It's programming.
But,
Comp TIA is a big one. Yeah, see, I'm out of the game for 10 years or more, so don't listen to me.
You were saying, too, that the reason why you had to work so much harder is because you didn't have those foundations to automate some of your shit.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do scripting, which basic Apple scripting, because I'd never been taught. Nobody in my district really taught anybody how to do it. But Apple scripting became a huge part of my job and saved me so much legwork, you wouldn't even believe it. It allowed me to restart computers with one touch. It allowed me to put computers into groups. It allowed me to tell my server, do this if. So that if I'm not there, so if you detect an MDF on campus that has failed, send a message to me or send a message to the network person, right? Anything like that. I had nothing like that. So I was putting out fires, literally, but with no prevention measures. For like the first 5 years on the job. And then after that, my workload increased so much commensurate with my Network Plus certification and just the shit that I learned about AppleScript that I needed all of that to be able to take on the extra baggage. So it was fucked. I never reached equilibrium at that place. And to be frank, my brother-in-law did, because he had those certifications.
Yeah, he took the time on his own.
He did it on his own. He did it on his own dime and on his own time, and he knew how to do some scripting. He showed me a few things. He helped me, but he didn't have time to script my whole school. And I was never able to pick up much because he didn't have time to fucking baby me through it either. It was a sink or swim job. It really was. I was told straight out. I was like, Steve, I don't want to say, well, he's retired now, fucking. He was a public official. Steve Emery was my boss that hired me there. And he told me, he said, Paul, he said, I like you. I think you did a good job on the preliminary and all that. But I can't give you the job because your brother-in-law works here. And he said, and if I were to just sign you up for a position now and make it permanent, that's exactly what I'd be doing. I am going to hire you, but I'm going to throw you, he told me, I'm going to throw you in the Shark Tank. And I was like, the Shark Tank? He said, your trainer is going to be this guy. I don't want to say his name because I think he might still work. I love the guy, by the way. I ended up really liking him. But your trainer is going to be XX, and he knows how to do, he has his way of doing things. And at the end of a 1-year temp contract, he will be the ultimate decider of whether or not you get a job or not. And I said, okay. So I met this dude. I'm trying to think of a character in like popular media that reminded me of him without being too like, because I'm not trying to demean him. I've never talked about this dude. I don't want to fuck on him because he was actually really kind to me and he taught me a fuck ton, but he had no certifications. This was an old school guy. He was what's called a TSA, a teacher on special assignment. He was plucked out of the classroom and given the opportunity to work as a technology person so that they could get another technology person out of the school budget instead of the district budget, which was so limited. So there were several of these types of teachers working, and he was one of them, and he was the longest one of them, other than my two bosses, Steve and Kim Emery. They were, well, Kim Emery was a teacher on special assignment that moved up into the district office as the boss for the TSAs. She was the tech boss for them, for Rich. Steve Emery was the tech boss for me and the other non-teacher guys, right? But we all worked on the same team. We had to. It was cool too because it was a husband and wife duo, you know, pretty cool. They were really nice people. They treated me so good, and I would have stayed there forever if they would have lived forever. Well, I think they're still alive, but they retired, and good on them for doing it. I think Steve was in his 70s when he retired, and I think Kim was not far behind. So good on both of them. I'm glad they got to retire, but fuck, that job was ruined. But anyway, Rich. Who would he be like? I don't know, man. you know what he reminded me of? Like a 1910 politician.
Yeah.
Blustery. He had like a Van Dyke mustache and goatee combo that was very like severe.
Yeah.
He was heavy set, sweaty, bald on top with the side, so he wasn't hiding it, and abrupt.
Yeah.
So I walked in my first day, I remember. Got there early, thinking I'm going to show him I've got initiative. I'm going to get there before him. I'm going to get there 15 minutes before he told me to be there. Well, little did I know, Rich told me to be there after he'd made his coffee, set up. So I got there and he was already set up. Like, oh, all right, you're here. It's like, yeah, I'm Paul, blah, blah, blah. I introduced myself and he was like, all right, so here's your list for the day. You're going to go to this classroom, this classroom, this classroom. You're going to unplug everything in them. And you're going to put all of this on that cart right there. He pointed at a little gray cart that was meant for books. It was like a library cart. You're going to put them on that cart right here, and you're going to bring them into here. And I was like, okay. And so I just hit the bricks, and I did that all day. And at the end of it, he was like, all right, go home. And that was how he was for like...
Never told you why, just do it.
Yeah. Well, at first.
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure that I could do the labor part of it.
That you could be willing to schlep around
Yep.
and shit.
So it was all part of his plan.
Yeah.
But after about a month and a half of being a donkey, because I got hired in the summer. And summer, like I told you, that's tear down,
That's
build
all-
up.
Yeah, donkey work. Yeah.
Tear down, build up, donkey work all summer long. So I did a month and a half, 2 months of that. And one day I showed up and he said there was a second chair in his office. That was comfy one too.
Yeah.
He said, sit down. And I was like, and he taught me ARD and he put it on my computer and he gave me my laptop. I just didn't have a laptop. I didn't need one. Gave me my laptop and told me that he was giving me one school to look over and that he would be on call for me, but that I was supposed to try and handle Millview Elementary. And I was over the fucking moon because it was the first positive thing the dude had said to me.
Yeah.
Not one time did he go like, good job today. And I busted my hump, you better believe. So that was the test. It was like, are you in it for praise or are you in it to see things clearer and to learn the job? And I showed him that. So at the end of it, he told me before, he didn't make me wait. He was like, you're hired. It's like, already, I'm gonna walk into Emery's office today and tell him you're hired. He was like, I hope you're up to it. And I was like, I hope I am too, because if I'm not, I'm blaming you. And he laughed. Said, I learned everything from him. No, but he was a good teacher. He was a good trainer, but a trainer for the hard way. Because like I said, he didn't have any network. He was an old school guy. And he did
taught
it
you how to do it, but the long way.
the long and hard way every time. And he was real resistant to my brother-in-law or anybody that was doing this. Like, there was another guy that worked out there with us, Tomas, who was a young dude.
Yeah.
And he was actually trained by the same guy.
Yeah.
And that guy, he didn't like it because he was always trying to do things the new, easier way.
Yeah.
So he was very resistant. But once I got my own schools and I was hired, then I could do it how I wanted to do it. And it was always mostly the Rich's way.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, his name was Rich. Okay.
You already,
I did. Did I already say it a bunch of times? Rich's way or the hard way or the highway. But I did incorporate a few things as I learned them. But nobody had time to teach me that shit. Like, once I got hired on contract, it's beyond the deep end. You're dropped in the middle of the ocean with a life preserver and a fucking MRE. The good luck. It really was like that. It was like somebody dropped me in the ocean, gave me a cup, and said, bail out all this water. And then left me there.
'cause you had, what, like a month of tech support experience?
How much?
A month?
I did a whole year with Rich Harmon.
No, I'm talking about before the school district. You're doing customer service?
Well, I was doing like phone tech support.
Yeah, I was saying, you had that. That
Was all I had.
You had before you
But that was all for HP Pavilion Windows PCs.
Yeah.
And I built PCs, so I knew shit going into that.
Yeah.
So I got that job easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was working for a Mac district. I knew fuck all
Yeah.
about working in a Mac system. Like, I think it's Unix.
That's, that's what I meant. I understand, like, you went
Yeah.
with basically
Yeah.
nothing.
And every time I learned something too, I would always be like, because I would think, like, you know how many hours of donkey bullshit this would have saved me walking across campus in the 102 degrees off the blacktop, sweating like a pig all day because I got to fucking visit every fucking classroom to fix every fucking thing, just like Rich taught me. Because, like, I remember when he gave me my laptop, he chastised me one day because he was like, "Did you go visit her?" He saw me close out a ticket, and I was like, "No, I just ARD'd in and I fixed it for her," and I told her, I responded, "Hey, I went in and fixed let me know if you have any more problems." And he was like, "You go visit her and you tell her you fixed it. You let her show you that it works now." And I was like, "Okay." It was actually a good piece of advice because it helped me develop a relationship with the teachers at the site that I worked at.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it at the time, but when he started taking me with him to do harder shit and actually train me, it was like, all right, we got 15 classes to do, so let's make it snappy, and I need you to learn on your feet. "Hey, Mrs. Moore, how's it going? This is Paul. He's my assistant guy today. We'll be out of your hair in a minute, okay?" All right. I was like, oh, it's politics.
Yeah.
He can't do it all, so they have to love you.
Yeah, so that way they're not mad.
Yep. If it takes 2 days to get to their help ticket, they've seen you out there humping.
Yeah.
That's why he trained me that way, and that worked for me. 'Cause other people had problems even when they automated shit and got it done quicker than I did, because nobody on campus ever saw them.
Yeah.
They were doing everything remotely and scripting everything and spending whole weeks at one campus in their office managing everything remotely, which is fine. That's their job. But they had no relationship with the teaching
So when
staff.
something went wrong, they were all pissy at him.
Yeah. Dude, nobody's chatting. Everybody's just listening tonight, bro. Everybody's just, it's like, hello? Is there anybody there? I swear the chat hasn't scooted one time in like 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Did chat just die? Maybe YouTube is down or something. It's really strange. It started to creep me out. Scoot. Oh, okay. There it goes. Thanks, Levi. Yeah, that's very strange. I guess people were just listening, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone. Like,
That's actually kind of cool.
It's half the amount of viewers you've had some other times too.
But still, it's 100 people in here, bro. I just had everybody listening. That's actually really neat.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You got all the skibbities out. No one's making skibbity
Nobody
comments.
skibbityed that whole time, dude.
You got
see.
it cleaned up.
Conversation's interesting, yeah. It's interesting, and it's like a good lesson for people too. It's like if you're working like any kind of customer service, but IT is definitely one of those, you need to be just as much of like a cordial salesperson as you are an IT professional. You need them to love you. And Rich taught me that about doing it. I used to work tech specialist, Office Max, and my job was basically just selling old people computers and fixing ones from the 90s. Yeah. I mean, I never had a job hands-on fixing those types of computers, but I built them with my dad since like the early 90s. IR fear you? You fear me? You fear me? I'm a big old teddy bear. My bark is, my bark is all I have because I have no bite. Lots of lip service? Eh? What are you talking about? I don't know. Maybe she didn't need to be banned. I don't know. I asked people to talk and then they did. No.
Like, oh shit, remember.
Yeah, that's an important thing though. I was really glad that I had him to teach me and that I was a capable person because he and I became buds after he saw me interact with teachers and saw that I had the riz, and then I knew what he was doing, and that I was picking up on what he was laying down. Then he and I were buds. Then we were like true co-workers for the last 4 or 5 months of my tenure, my temp tenure. But I've done that at every job, man. I go over the top on the customer side of things because that's just what I feel like I'm good at, to be frank. I feel like that's maybe not good at, but like what I'm best at. I know I come off as a little bit of a irascible prick here, and I can be that way in life, but like when I'm being paid and when I'm in front of customers, I really do feel like there's something about a smile with your custom. I always try to uphold that. Like even if I'm feeling shitty, it's like fake it till you make it day if I'm at work and I'm in front of people, you know? And I've carried that into this job. There are some days I show up in front of you guys and I just got nothing in the tank, but I got 2 shows to do that day or whatever, and I do them. And it really is, after about 20, 30 minutes, an hour of doing that, you got an 8-hour day, you feel better, bro. Like after you get through that first hour and you realize this is just what I do every day, then it's like, boom. So I could turn my toxic need to be liked by everyone into a job skill? Yeah, you could, dude. I mean, it definitely is a job skill. The more the reason why there's like companies are so fucking crazy about customer service being snappy and efficient and polite and fair and all of that, right? Is because they know that those people are like a shock absorber for them, right? If those people can diffuse a situation before it ever goes to corporate, then they've done their job, right? That's like they're there to make sure that the bump in the road gets smoothed out and the guys up top don't ever hear about it. And so that's what customer service is. It's a buffer for the company. You're like the lowest paid member of the company, but you're the one that actually talks to the people that buys the company's shit. You know what I mean? How much sense does that make? It's part of paying the salt tax. Yeah, that's true. That's so fucking unfair. I know. God damn, that makes me mad. Sorry, Phoebes. Phoebes is working that kind of job now, and I just put some labor organizing in her head that she hadn't thought of yet. You're the lowest paid person in Taco Bell, Phoebes, but you're the only person that ever has any FaceTime with the people that actually buy Taco Bell. Let that sink in. Sorry. But that's what organizing is about. That's what being a labor advocate is about. You've got to make people think about their jobs differently. Solidarity always. I've never thought about it like that. It's like mind shattering, yeah. You're the face of that company and you don't get paid anything. You know, the people that come into your Taco Bell, and I'm sure you got regs. Every place got regs. That Taco Bell is Phoebe to them. Oh, I'm gonna go get a taco. I hope Phoebe's there, right? The face of fucking Taco Bell. But you get paid dog shit. Oof. They even make you wear the logo all over your body like you're a fucking NASCAR. It's not good enough that they force you to smile your way through a shitty day and get paid shit for it. But you gotta get stickers slapped all over you. Pieces of flair and buttons and silly little hats. Yeah, you get treated like dog shit. And you get paid dog shit. And you're the only person that matters in that fucking company outside the people that make the food, who also get treated like dog shit. They pre-make the bags of shit that you open up and cook over there. Yeah. Those people get treated like dog shit too. You know who doesn't get treated like dog shit in the Taco Bell structure? The district manager and up. The guy that pulls up in his Lexus and mean mugs you for an hour and then leaves. That guy and up. Those people that a customer of that place never sees.
I think someone gets it worse than Taco Bell structure. The people that actually have to make the tortillas and stuff
Yeah.
and ship them.
Yeah, those people get treated like dog shit. The people that make the soy things that they fucking cook up into the meat over there, the meat product, that's not made and chopped up and made into meat there. It's done in a fucking factory, probably by a lot of fucking migrant people who are paid dog shit. And then it's bagged up in another place and shipped in another place. Everybody on that chain makes dog shit. Then it gets to the place. They pay people dog shit to assemble it into various burritos, tacos, and nachos. And the people that make all the money never talk to a single person and never get grease on their fucking shirt. And never get their hands dirty. Never get a hangnail that gets fucking lemon juice in it or some shit. Never. I know how it comes, Phoebes. I used to work in the fucking industry. I know that 99% of the shit that's served at these places comes frozen and sits in a big walk-in. Dude, I worked at Wendy's, bro. I know the fucking game. We had a big fucking, it wasn't a walk-in because there wasn't a whole lot of frozen product at Starbucks, but we had freezers.
Now it's gotta be huge with all
Yeah,
the
now they've
little
had
breakfast sandwiches.
I'm sure
and
they're
shit.
building in freezers now.
Yeah.
I worked McDonald's for 2 years. Fucking sad how bad you get treated. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I know. And I got treated way better than you did because I worked at Wendy's in the 90s where, like, I think I made like $6 something an hour, which was $1 over the federal minimum at the time, which was like $5.25 or something. I think I made $6.10 or something an hour when I got hired. That was good money. And they were flexible. A kid could go in there and make some scratch. You know what I mean? And didn't have to fucking work himself to death. They just worked me after school, worked me on the weekends, but never too much. I was asked to pick up shifts here, there, and everywhere, and I just didn't. Usually, because fuck it. I'd get paid. I think when my paychecks came, they used to be like $120, $150. You know, because I would work 2 shifts a week. Get paid every 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe $200 on a good week if I picked up a shift or 2. And as a kid whose parents didn't require me to pay rent, I was still 16, so that paid for my gas, that paid for weed and booze and good times with my friends. That's all I needed to spend it on. Yeah, music, if I wanted to go buy a CD for myself or a video game or something, you know, I save up a couple months, I go get a little TV or something. Whatever, right? And that's like the coolest thing for a kid to learn because I learned at 16, well, actually before 16. My dad got me an under the table job when I was 14 and 15. 2 summers working at CRA, which is Container Recycling Alliance in Biola, California, shifting to, I won't go into it, was a shit job. But I saved money because I worked full time 2 summers in a row because I told my dad when I was 13, I said, "Hey Dad, what kind of car are you gonna buy me?" And he was like, "Come again?" And I was like, "Yeah, John's dad said he was gonna buy him a Mustang. What are you gonna get me?" And he was like, "What the little boy shot at," which is a country way of saying nothing. And I was like, "But everybody's gonna get a car and not me." And he was like, "You wanna work?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Then you ain't getting a car." And when I was 14, I went to my dad and I said, "Dad, I wanna work." And he was like, "All right, son, let me make a phone call and I'll get you a summer job, okay? You're gonna have to go to work with me though. So you gotta get up early. I'm not waiting for your ass. So you get fired, and I'll never do anything for you again. So don't fuck up with me. I'll get you a job, okay?"
I think I had my under the table job earlier than you.
Really?
I was like 10.
Where were you working at 10?
My dad worked at this place writing manuals, and he let me work in like the factory. like put boxes together.
Well, I mean, my parents did that type of shit too. There was bring your kid to work day, and I did bottle selecting, and I went up to the furnace and looked in
But
it
they
with the
gave me,
glasses.
They paid me for it, so
Oh.
that's technically. I did a whole day. I did like, you know.
And they paid you?
Yeah.
You got me beat, girl. Yeah.
I was working. I was like putting folders together and putting things on things. Putting
Nope.
together the little accessories.
Not at 10. Well, my parents were working me like a mule when I was 10, though, because I was mowing that fucking giant lawn, mucking the chickens, feeding the horse,
Like,
picking up the road apples, picking the worms. No, it was fun, dude. I loved it as a kid, dude. Doing chores as a kid meant I got to be out in the sun. I got to see my horse. I got to see the chickens.
to be fair, I only did it for a few days. I didn't do it for like a whole summer.
Yeah, it was, I mean, but still, you're real young to do a whole day or a couple of days of work like that. And that was a nice little chunk of change, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you
I
remember?
think it was like $80 or something.
A day? Or
For
80 bucks
2
all?
days. Yeah.
Well, how long did you work?
I mean, it's kid brain, so it's hard to say. I feel like it was at least
A couple hours or
Yeah.
something? Yeah. Yeah, then that 80 bucks is pretty fucking dope if that's what you got.
Yeah.
That's pretty high pay. I bet 10 a year, a 10-year-old could cut a lawn. Oh, dude. Bro, I was an expert lawn care specialist by the time I was like 7. My dad bought a ride-on mower, and I used to beg him to let me drive it. So when I was 6, he used to sit me in his lap, show me the pedals, and let me mow the lawn with him. And as soon as I was 7, he was like, boy, go mow that lawn. And I was like, shit. I sowed my own poison. Because he knew I could fucking handle the thing. So, and then he taught me how to edge. Yeah, I rode horses. We owned a horse, yeah.
Did you ever consider that as a job, the mowing lawns, or were you just sick of it at that point?
I did it as odd jobs around my neighborhood in summers when I was a teenager sometimes.
Yeah.
Like my mom would let me know, so-and-so, little old lady so-and-so looks like she could use her yard cleaned up. You ought to go off her. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd go over there and I'd ask her, hey, ma'am, can I clean up your yard for a few bucks? And she'd be like, oh, yeah. And she'd give me 20 or 30 bucks to mow her yard and rake up the leaves or whatever. And I also did a paper route for a while, but not until I think I got that when I was 12. I don't think they would hire you before you were 12. And I got fired from that. That's the only job I've ever gotten fired for. I got fired for it because people were screaming at me that didn't get the paper to stop throwing the pink sheets at them. I don't want the paper. And so I stopped doing it, and then they found out I wasn't giving the pink sheets to non-subscribers, and they fired. So I was really just trying to do what the customers asked.
Yeah.
People stand out on their lawn in the morning, wait for me, and literally go, don't throw one of those things on my lawn. I don't subscribe to that paper. I don't want it. And I'd say, yes, sir. And then I just stopped giving it to everybody because I was like, well, people don't seem to like this thing. But then it got back. Some old lady did like it. That's what I think. And
Or they were just snooping you.
That could be too. Maybe driving my route. Let's see
Yeah.
if he's tossing his pink sheets.
They were probably just snooping you.
Yeah, I used to edge, and then we didn't have like any like rototiller, these like kind of electric tiller things. So I had to use a hoe and a rake. We didn't have no leaf blower back then. That was like a luxury item for rich people. We didn't own no blower. It's like it was in the fall, and we had big old fucking oak trees that were shedding leaves and shit. It's time to go rake up the goddamn fucking half-acre lawn in front. And the quarter-acre in back. And then you gotta edge it, and then you gotta weed the little garden islands, and then you gotta weed the edges where the decorative rocks are near the fucking road. And by the time you've done it, your summer day just turned into fucking unpaid labor day. And you're exhausted and you're filthy, and all you want to do is go to sleep. And you do. And then you wake up the next day and you realize you have nothing to do for the next week, and you're fucking happy as shit.
Yeah.
And life goes on.
Yeah.
It taught me a work ethic. You know, if I had a kid, they'd be humping out here. We wouldn't be paying some fucking dude to mow our lawn. I'd be like, you can save some money and take it off my bill because my kid's mowing all of this. This would take literally 15 minutes front and back to edge and mow. That's about what it takes the dudes, I feel like. They do a little more than that. They rake the gardens, but I'm just saying.
They trim the big plants.
Yeah,
That probably takes the most time.
Yeah.
Is fucking...
My kid would be doing every bit of that. I'd hand water too. I don't know why like people want sprinkler systems and shit. Like if I had a little patch of lawn, see what I dream of is having a little house with you where we have no lawn, where we just have untilled land. And we let grow what grows, but we keep the big stuff trimmed back. Right? So we keep it like a little garden, right? We let the dandelions grow and die and feed the ecosystem because they're not hurting anything. We take the big ragweed out because it's going to turn into a bush if we let it grow. We pull it up out by its roots. And then, you know, we could garden off of that land because we're not killing it with pesticides and Bermuda grass and shit, right? I would love to have that with you. I really would. That's my dream. Because I could see, I had a dream one time that we had a goat. It was just Billy, my goat, because he's the goat I know. But you would love a goat. You and goats would get so along because...
I have met one goat.
You would love a Billy goat. You would love him because of how stubborn they are. As soon as you learned how to handle him, and I'd just show you how to grab them horns, because they can't do shit. You got them by the horns, you basically got their whole spine. You don't have to hurt them, but they can't come butt you or anything. And they'll learn, you know, you just redirect their little asses. But they're actually kind of sweet. Sometimes they'll just come up and nuzzle you, you know, and it's so sweet.
So are you leaning more towards house, you think?
I don't know. I mean, because we could have that and be mobile. You see what I mean?
But then it's just abandoned. We can't have a goat and then leave it. We can't keep a goat in an RV.
The Beverly Hillbillies strapped their goat to the back of a truck and took it all the way to Beverly. Load him up, baby. Put down the plastic in the bedroom and lock Billy the goat up. We hit in the rain. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just saying, like...
It would preclude us how... Because I would love to have a little chicken clutch,
Yeah.
like they've got at my sister's house. It's fine. You know, it's easy to keep clean. I know what to look for. I know when they get, like, ticks on them. I know what to go down to the feed store and get to inoculate them against fleas and ticks. Change their bedding and all that so that stuff doesn't happen. Change out the straw. Get us a nice little rooster to watch over the girls. Take a little razor blade, cut the rooster right here. So then he goes, that's all. No, I'm kidding. You don't ever do that. You don't cut a rooster's vocal cords. I'm sorry. I was just giving you a little country. You don't ever do that. That doesn't work. Don't do that to a chicken. Roosters are gonna crow. I just put up with it. Does it bother you? Would like a rooster being like 100 feet out behind our fucking place, crowing in the morning, wake you up every fucking time?
I don't know. We'd have to find
You never
out.
lived around it?
I mean, there was a rooster when we were in the other place.
Yeah, but they're not right out in our yard. They
Yeah.
were like adjacent or across the street. You'll just have to know. If not, chicken and dumplings are served.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you're torn between these two, I feel like, contrasting options.
Well, I mean, ultimately, like, I see myself as an old man there.
Yeah.
Not like infirm, but like maybe I'm slowing down. I don't know. I feel like now I've got enough piss and vinegar to help pull up stakes and set out the fucking lawn furniture and stuff when we get to a new camping spot, and roll out the thing and help with the fucking food, bringing it in and blah, 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 and do all that now. I feel like by the time I'm like 65 or something, I'm going to be looking to like pet a goat, feed a chicken, do a stream. You know, I don't know. Maybe I just want everything. That's the key. I just have to become a billionaire because then we have both.
Yeah.
Then I've got a ranch that's maintained when we're gone, and we can just go anywhere we want, anytime we want. I just gotta be a billionaire. I just gotta be a fucking billionaire. That's the way it works. That's the way I feel about it anyway. That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You wanted blue skies and all you got was gray. 10 of 10 belly. Yeah, sorry. Got 2 turkeys? Ooh. Never had a turkey. I had ducks. Ducks are cool to have around. And duck eggs are actually kind of tasty too. They're a little different than chicken eggs, but not if you're making them certain ways. Like if you just use them in food, they're a little like richer than a duck egg because the yolk is a little bigger, I think. Ducks are great though. We had 2 little white ducks. And their life was pretty good except when they got raped by the rooster. I had a rooster that was a duckophile, okay?
Well, I mean, to be fair, ducks get raped by other ducks too.
True.
It's not like they're strangers to it.
That's true. I've got a full chicken house right now and I love it. That is actually really nice. I'm glad for you, Phoebes. I'm glad you got a little garden and a little chicken coop and stuff. That's really nice. I hope you can hold on to that kind of lifestyle and stuff because it seems to suit you pretty well. You seem to be pretty happy and well adjusted, I gotta say. And you're maintaining that while working, you know, working a hard job. So, you know, I've got a lot of respect for that. I know how hard that is. It's beautiful and I'm gonna hold on to it for dear life. Good. Yeah, improve it too. That's the, I don't know if you own the land or if your family owns a little piece of it or something, but like that's the best advice I can give you is to improve that land. And you're already doing that by adding your garden and your chicken coop. And I just keep that in mind. Build up, like what is it? What was that in the show? Go wide, not, or go deep, not wide. Yeah. Your family owns your land, then you just listen to what I said there then. Go deep, not wide. Save your money, improve that land. Yeah, I loved my job when I worked that customer service shit too. I loved the people I worked with. It was chill. It was like a second family over there, you know. We all had the same woes. It was cool. It was chill. That's the plan, yeah. Yeah, go deep, not wide. That's actually a good piece of advice. I pulled it from that show, Your Honor. I'd never heard anybody say that. So I gotta fucking give credit where I think it was invented, or at the very least, whoever wrote that had somebody say that to them. Go deep, not wide. I've never heard that saying. But what it means is if you really want to get, it doesn't necessarily, I mean, it's misinterpreted by the young man, I think. Yeah. His mom is in this, not to give the show away, but in the show there's a young man, a teenage man, a young boy, 17 or 16 or whatever he is. He's and his mother was a photographer. She was murdered while doing her job. She was a street photographer, and she told him, go, you know, if you really want to be good at photography, go deep, not wide. And he uses that as like, oh, I should stay here in New Orleans, like dig here down and set my roots. And his dad wants him to go to NYU for obvious reasons.
Yeah. But that show is good. The best way to not spoil it but give you an idea of it is a show that will make you say oof over.
Yeah, it's oof the show. It's one bad decision after the next, after the next, after the next. Everybody in the show too. It's like even the villains are making horrible decisions constantly and you're like,
but
you know.
The characters are so good, that's why you oof so hard.
Yeah, the characters are good and the story is compelling as fuck, if a little bit unbelievable maybe. Yeah. It's a little bit strange and
It's almost like American Horror Story-ish.
oh, it's very much like that.
But grounded in reality.
Yeah.
Not supernatural, but like that amount of twists and things.
It's
that
twists,
can go wrong.
it's turns, it's the way it really is just kind of a brilliant procedural show because
Yeah.
the setup is something completely different than you'll think.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know anything about it going in, and the setup for that show was like unbelievably like expectation defying. I thought it was going to be a procedural show about a judge and the different cases he takes, and it's not. And that's all I'll say. Paul, move into a ranch and write an autobiography. Okay, I'll do it. You paying? You buying the ranch? You paying the bills on the ranch?
I did hear some like bittersweet news about the housing market.
What's that?
Apparently, people were still getting those adjustable rate mortgages.
Yeah.
And a lot of those are coming due soon.
Oh yeah. They didn't end adjustable rate
Yeah,
mortgages.
but there was a decent amount of people that got them around 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're starting to come due.
Well, I mean, what do you say to that other than good? I'm sorry, but good. That's stupid. You don't get a mortgage that does a fluctuating adjustable fucking APR after a certain time. That's like rule number one. And if that's all you can get, then you go deep, not wide. Work your credit.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy. Because you ever fucking sign your name on the dotted line with a variable rate under it, you better be rich as fuck and ready to buy out that fucking shit.
You have no fucking idea
No.
what the interest rate's going to be in 5
No,
years.
and it becomes, and it's variable because they can make it exploitative for no reason.
Yeah. Well,
They
because,
can
like,
say you're a high risk loan.
The Fed doesn't set the interest rates; it just influences the interest rate.
Well, it
so-
sets the federal interest rate,
Yeah.
but that's you can charge interest above that.
Yeah.
There's usury laws that stop at 30% or
Yeah.
25% or whatever
Yeah.
it is federally, but they'll bump your rate from like 2% APR for the first 2 years, and then all of a sudden it balloons out and it goes to 20, and all of a sudden your bill went from $1,500 a month to $3,000 a
Yeah.
month.
So, yeah, I
Like,
can't
who's
believe-
ready for their housing bill to
apparently
double?
There's 1 million people this year where their APR.
Here's the
gonna go
problem.
up.
There are going to be vulture fucking banks and
Yeah.
companies that snatch those up before they ever touch the market.
Yeah.
They have the connections to call the banks
Yeah.
and get into the fucking real estate office and go like, look, we're buying the whole tract. And the real estate person is going to go, oh my God, yes, that's like a dream.
Yeah.
It's like 10 house sales worth of commission in one deal. So that's going to be the problem. But I think we're going to be well positioned because they're not going to be sucking up every property in the area where we are.
No.
There's not a lot of fluctuate. In fact, the population is like,
Yeah. It's not a
It's
great
old.
investment thing.
not yet.
Yeah.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be people fleeing to that climate in about 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
So if we get in there before then and get a fucking house purchased, not that we'd sell it, but I think we're going to double up, triple up, doodad. But who knows? I mean, that we could also end up so far underwater that we spend the rest of our life digging out. I'm fine with that too.
If it's
I would
something
rather
we
have
really
that,
love.
be,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful place and I love it. I'd rather take that risk.
Yeah, that's our life advice for the day. Don't do an adjustable rate mortgage.
Yeah. Don't even go looking for a mortgage if your credit isn't sorted. Period. It's just a waste of your time. And don't buy a car with shit credit either. Don't go to one of these places. It's like no credit, bad credit, no problem. You're approved. Like
Put
those.
zero down on a car.
Yep.
Fucked.
You put $0 down on a car and you take because they do variable interest rate car loans. Hello. They'll do the same shit to you. So the first year you're making your note, you're paying $500-600 a month, but you're making your note on a nice brand new car, and then all of a sudden your interest rate goes from 6 to 15, and now you're paying fucking, $900, $1,000 a month or upwards for just your car. That's not your rent. That's just your vehicle. Yeah. Don't be stupid. Don't lock yourself into long-term shit if you don't have to. But in order to get a lease at a good fucking rate where you're competing with what you'd pay to purchase a car, you have to have good credit. In fact, you have to have excellent credit as they measure it. You've got to be like in the 720s. You want to be above 700 on your credit score. And if you ain't there, then there are a number of things you can do to build that up, and you need to do it. But if you are there, you've got a lot of latitude in what you can borrow, especially if you're backed by income and you save up a down payment. But all of those things require time and investment to do it. People that get roped into the game of like, I gotta own everything right now. I gotta get the nice new whip right now so that I can floss and then I'll figure it out. I've got to get the big house now and start a family and not really worry about where it's going to come from. Just trust Jesus or whatever it is you got going through your head. That's how people get bankruptcies. You get a bankruptcy on your record because that's what happens. A lot of people don't know that. People don't know, like, what happens if I take a car note and I just can't fucking pay it? Like, it comes due, it's $1,100 because my APR spiked and I ain't got $1,100. It's that or eat, so I don't pay it. What happens? Well, number one, you're going to get a default notice in the mail that's going to tell you next month, if you haven't paid the full balance that's due, your car will be repossessed, and then they're going to come take your car from you. They're going to come knock on their door, and if you shoo them away or don't give them access to your garage, they're going to come back with a sheriff, and they're going to take your property, their property, away. The same thing will happen to your house, right? So you don't own a house until you own a house. The bank owns the house, and you have a mortgage on that house. It's like a rent to own, or it's a lease to own, basically, is how a mortgage works. The bank fronts the money for the house, therefore they own it. They set an APR, and you pay them back in installments. That's the deal. So if you can't pay your house note because all of a sudden your APR went from 7% to 15-20, right? Then you go and you file what's called Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And that means I am incapable at my current level of paying my bills. And what they will do is they will wipe out your debt. Your credit card debt goes poof. Your fucking house debt goes poof. Your car debt goes poof. The problem is that your house goes poof, usually. Now, you can structure a bank settlement to not include your home, but include other liabilities. But that is actually a worse type of bankruptcy that fucks your credit even worse.
And you have to keep paying.
Right. You have to keep paying your house note, but you'll lose the car, you'll lose the credit card debt. And your credit score will drop down into the 300s and will stay there for about 4 or 5 years without anything you can do about it. Recent bankruptcy, until it falls off your credit report, there are laws, I don't know how long it is, but there are laws for how punitive they can be about a bankruptcy after how many years. But it's years of dog shit credit. If you can go through your life and never have to do that once, you've done a good job. Because that is what it does to you. It ruins you. It makes any loan for anything. Starting a little small business, if you have that plan, that's gone. You're never getting a business loan with 320 as a credit score. You fucking plans of owning a home, you had to give that up when you filed bankruptcy. Your house now belongs to the bank, and they probably sold it to some old couple.
Yeah. The only way you can get a house with bankruptcy is if you already had the house before bankruptcy and you kept it in the bankruptcy settlement.
Well, that's so there's a different filing where you can structure your bankruptcy to only include outstanding credit card and vehicular debt.
Or medical debt.
Or medical debt, right? Or like whatever, judgment debt, right? You can structure a settlement of that debt, but you can't, it's a different chapter of bankruptcy, and it's worse for your credit score. It dings you longer because you did a structured bankruptcy instead of a full Chapter 11 reset. So it falls off later, does more damage. You speaking on this subject, and I already know you're right. Yeah, well, duh. And it's something that nobody teaches people in school. It's like they send you out into the world, a world where you have to take loans out when you want to buy shit, and they don't teach you how to do a loan. So a lot of people just walk in there and they're sharks, man. No credit, bad credit, you're approved. Come in and get a car, man. 0 down, no problem, buddy. Come on in. And they'll rope you and dope you and let you drive this brand new car, and you'll have a boner about that fucking thick around, thinking about yourself cruising in the world with it. And then 3 months into owning it, you're fucking insolvent. You know how many people that happens to? Way more people than you think. All over the spectrum of fucking economics too. This is not just the only way you don't have that happen to you is if daddy's rich.
Credit cards will do that too, where it's like they'll do like no interest for 12 months to get you comfortable.
Yeah. And you start going like, yeah, I can manage this. I can manage this. I'll keep it below 500, or oh, it went above 500, but that's okay because I can manage this. Yeah. I'll pay it down next month, and then all of a sudden, then the interest kicks in, and all of a sudden it goes up to 600, and you're like, fuck, what just happened? Then it's 800 next month, and then you're fucking underwater. Then you're maxed.
Yeah, your minimum payments go up and up and up.
And there is nothing that craters your shit than having a maxed credit card that you're paying minimum balance on every month. Yeah. That is like taking your credit and putting it in a shredder and pissing on it and lighting it on fire. Fucked. Oh my God, dude. Kids that are buying these demons and Hellcats and shit, and they're giving them to these kids too. Bro, talk about being underwater on a car, 0 down on a Hellcat, bro. And they're actually signing these fucking cars over to kids. Got 450 under the hood, 5 sometimes, in a scat pack. It's like a death machine. And they're giving it to a kid because they're giving him 0 APR for the first year, and he's looking at that $500 payment, and he thinks, oh, I can make that. And then after the year, it goes, pfft. Some shitty used car lot gave me a loan on a 2013 Chrysler 200 Limited when I was 18 in 2016. Had 12K miles on it. You got a shit fuck loan on it. That's not bad for mileage. 12K is not bad mileage. 13.9 is, I mean, in that time, I guess, a little suspect on that. But that's low mileage, though. But yeah, if you got boned on the loan, then it doesn't really matter, you know. Kids need to learn their engine size, bro. I mean, I don't mean to fucking bring up a sensitive or sore subject, but I have a best friend who married a woman that had a son. He adopted the son as his own. That son, they got him a little 150 or like a 75cc Honda, and he trained on that for 2 years because all he wanted was a fucking bike. And on his like 20th birthday or 21st birthday or whatever, they got him a 450, and he died that night. He left smiling and waving at his parents and peeled off in his new fucking Honda 450, and they never saw him again. He was dead the next time that they heard about him. Wrapped the bike around a tree and broke his neck. Fucked. So, not to ruin anything, but it's a plot point in Your Honor. And the first thing I thought was like, well, this is not a show for that friend. I hope he doesn't watch this show with his wife.
And it's not, like, it's spoiling, like, the first 5 minutes of the episode, basically.
I mean, it's the premise of the show, yeah. So, but whatever. It's literally the same thing happens at the beginning of the show. The first episode, that's what happens. So, dad gets son a brand new fucking fast, speedy bike. Son takes it out for the first time and dies. Splat.
Man, that's we're not spoiling how.
No, I'm not spoiling how or why, but that's that's one of the plot points of the show. I'm gonna need more drink.
You want the last little Arnold Palmer in there? I
Oh,
think there's one more of those.
is there one in there? You don't want it? Sure. Sure. If you want. If you feel. If not. You sure? I'm not dying. Ooh, Lord. Got ourselves a Diet Arnold Palmer. Look at that. Half and half. Half sweet tea, half lemonade, y'all. Let's pour us a cup. Let's sip us a cup now. I hate everything about owning a car. I would much rather ride a giant pig or some oversized mammal around. Dude, I would love to have a mammoth for a mount, bro. Like a mammoth for a mount. Like, all right, I'm gonna go fucking to the next town over. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm just gonna get on my fucking mammoth. Because who's about to fuck with you if you're riding a mammoth? You feel me? I think that's why a lot of guys get those big fucking giant trucks. Because it's like the closest thing they can get to a big woolly mammoth. Whatever, man. Chrysler, Toyota, or Honda, which would you pick? Of those three, Toyota, probably. I don't like any of them. Maybe Honda? One of those two. I don't know, man. You're asking me to choose between dog shit and dog shit at this point. I'm gonna go Toyota. I mean, well, nothing's wrong with it. I just, look, dude, I'm going to be frank with you, okay? I've become, all right. Look, I can understand why you're saying this, Frozen. But I need to tell you something. My ass has ridden in the glory that is a high-end Nissan, okay? I know that's a weird fucking name to come out of my mouth. But I have basked for now a few years in the glory of driving a high trim package Nissan car. I'm driving Nissan's greatest car ever right now. And I wouldn't trade it for $1,000,000 ducats. It's the best car. It's an awesome car. So until they start making shitty cars, I'm pretty much on the Nissan train till I die, I think. because not only does my car have everything that I would want in a high-end electric vehicle, but it looks mean as fuck. It's a beautiful car. It is easily the sexiest fucking car I've ever owned. Easily. It looks mean. It's a full-size SUV, and it cuts a mean angle, okay? Cuts a mean fucking angle. You bought an EV? Fuck yeah. Well, I leased an EV. In 3 years, I get to turn it in and get whatever I want. Model, I bought a 2023 Nissan Ariya Platinum Plus. You gotta look at the top trim package because I got the piano black bumper, the piano black grille. So you gotta look at the Platinum Plus trim package to get an actual picture of it. But yeah, 2023 Nissan Ariya. It's Ariya. Do you own a poodle also? No. I own a mutt. But I do live in California. Good, smart choice, I know. Yeah. It's a sick car. It's a sick whip. I got the gloss primer gray color. I don't know if you can change the colors on it, but look at that gloss primer gray. Check out that interior too. Go watch like the Supercar Blondie tour of the Platinum Plus. It's fucking crazy car. It's nuts. It's like flying a spaceship at night. Okay, let me tell you what it does, okay? So let's say it's dark. Like right now, I take it out on the freeway. I want to go hands off, so I hit my auto drive, right? Now that's cool. There are 2 levels of auto drive. There's green auto drive where you got to keep your hands on the wheel and it does automatic lane keeping. And then there's blue auto drive where you can kick the fuck back. Okay? So when I hit my auto drive button, it's dark in the cabin. All of the accent lighting in the cabin goes green. Boo. And all of the door lighting, the accent lighting in the door panels down below goes green. Boo, and there's a green glow. Right? And then when it switches over to blue, full HD, all of it dims down and turns blue. So fuck this. It's like sitting down on a spaceship. You don't donate. Don't worry about donating. It's cool. I just told you I drive a really nice car. It's cool for me to do. I do these for free. I like that there's no money exchanging hands here. We're just having a talk. I do this for a living. I have another channel where people can join our Patreon, donate, and all that fun stuff. So that pays me enough money to do what I do. It's insane to think that $7 a month pays for that, but I'm glad it does. It does. And I don't live high on the hog either, dude. I live well below my means. So I make a decent fucking living. I don't know. I don't need a fancy electric car, but I didn't buy one. I'm leasing it from the company so that I can drive it when I need it. I don't need a fancy car. Oh. Gotta catch him. Oh, god damn it. Hold up. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see her. Nah. She's in the dark. She's so pretty though. A possum. With babies. She walks our fence line at night. She's always got her little youngins clinging to her, and she's so pretty. But I couldn't get a good... She got into the shadows before I saw her this time. She's very sneaky. And she's very sweet. Scientists are making a lot of breakthroughs in nuclear fusion power generation. Yeah, okay, we'll see. Did you name her? No, she's wild. She doesn't have a name. Looking for dinner, are you? Oh, yeah. No, I'm having hummus for dinner. Hummus and fresh pitas. With tzatziki. You're in Cali, lol. I mean, guilty as charged. Born and raised in California. Sorry. I know we come off as smug to everybody else, but it's only because we live in the greatest place on the planet Earth. If you grew up and lived for your entire life in the most beautiful state in the nation, you'd be pretty smug too. I try not to be that way, you know? If you were in the world's greatest not true, don't argue with me about this, dude. I got facts and figures, bro. It's just a well-known fact in California, and everybody else copes about it. But if you, I'm just warning you, you don't want to have this argument with me. I always stumble into these streams while scrolling YouTube shorts. Puts me at ease. Cool. Well, it's always chill. Yeah, trust me, you're below your pay grade arguing that one with me, bud. Maine's better. I'm not even going to justify that with a fucking argument, bro. I'm not even going to dignify what you just said, bro. I want you to really think about what you just said. Land of the communists. See, this is the problem. They fill you guys down south, because I'm assuming you're down south. They fill you guys down south with this idea that we're like a bunch of commies up here. But like, dude, I live in Fresno. Can you look up the demographics of Fresno, California, and where this, dude, this goes deeper red than shit. It's nothing but farmers here, dude. Look it up. Like, how does that fit your communist manifesto? People people drive around in big fucking trucks with rebel flags on them and shit. Like, what are you talking about? People think all of California is basically like Venice Beach. Like, they've seen some footage of some dude walking around Venice Beach with all the hippie shops and the head shops, and they're like, dude, California's fucking commie. But you don't know shit. I live in the Central Valley of California. You've probably eaten food this week that was grown here. Government, bud, not the normal citizens. How'd that work? So the citizens don't live under communism. They're hardworking blue-collar farmers and blue-collar laborers. But the government is communist. But if the government is communist, then wouldn't it impose communism on all of the blue-collar farmers that are making massive profits growing food down here? Yeah, someone has no idea what communism is, probably because they learned it from being online. Yes, you do if you're living in Cali. Yeah, we also don't know which "your" to use. You know that you have to put an apostrophe R-E after "your"? How are you going to lecture me about California when you've never been here, you don't know what communism is, and you don't know which form of "your" to use when you're speaking to an adult? I guess in your school district, they didn't teach the proper use of "your" and "your." They're not even said the same. Your mom, you're going down in flames. How's that? See? Your mom, you're going down in flames. See? You apostrophe R-E is a contraction of you and R and needs to be annotated in a specific way. So I guess the commies in California taught me that, but they didn't teach you that where you're at. So you think there might be a few other things I got up here in my noggin that you didn't learn down in Bogalusa? or Flip Whistle, or wherever fucking swamp ass southern fucking Choctaw piece of shit you grew up in. Whoo, lordy. It's so fucking bad. I told him too. Did I not warn him? You guys listen to me. I was like, you are not, this is not your pay grade. You can't have this argument with me, and it's just gonna make you feel bad about yourself. Massive profits? Yeah, dude. Dude, do you have any idea how many multi-million-dollar combines I drive by every time I leave town here? We're talking about combines that cost $3 million, and I'll see 6 of them plowing a field. But you don't think they're flipping a profit, though. They just have $6 million combines. They're not flipping a profit. Don't be retarded, bro. If you've never been to a farming area, especially a mass farming area, don't speak out your mouth hole. Look up the San Joaquin Valley of California and look up how much of the food you ate this week came from my fucking state. You own 3 of them? What, dictionaries? You own 3 dictionaries? You're not telling me you own 3 farms. No, you don't. You know why? Farmers get up at fucking 2 or 3 in the morning. Your ass is up way too late and way too dumb to be a fucking farmer that owns 3 farms or 3 combines. So tell me another one, Slick. How did you read the contract to buy the combine if you don't know what your and your are? Did you have to have somebody read it for you? Did you have an adjunct like read it and sign it? I'm just wondering. One farm, 3 combines. I do not work it, hire others. Oh, so you're a leech. That sounds commie. That sounds like communism, boy. So the guy at the top keeps all the money and the workers don't get nothing? That sounds like communism, boy. Why are you running your farm like a dirty fucking commie, boy? You got all your workers out there working on a commune and you're reaping all the benefit, and then you want to tell me you're fucking against communism, bro? What the fuck? All right, buddy. Well, I drive by endless that. So your little small family farm, I drive by 17 of those in between this and the next town. I pass by fucking $200 or $300 million of farm equipment. Not to mention land, because you know that ain't cheap in California. So I don't want you to tell me shit. Dude, I grew up in a farm community. I grew up on a little self-sustained farm. Don't talk to me, bitch. Now you're just jealous how many jobs you created? Quite a few. I own my own business. I hire out people all the time. I contract out all the time. I hire editors. I hire social media managers. I pay my wife to help manage the social media. Got anything else? So I'm a business owner. I know which version of your and your to use. And you have nothing to say about running a commune. Why are you running a commune? I think you're too dumb. I think you're getting all your information from stupid people online that want to drum up stupid ideas and stupid people. You're texting? Autocorrect. You know that red squiggly line that's underneath everything you write? If you click on any of those words, it'll tell you how to fix that. What are you on, a T9 fucking Nokia phone from 2001? So you're gonna say you're retarded because you're texting? Room temperature IQ at best. You don't own 3 combines, motherfucker. I've met farmers that own combines. They're smarter than a whip. You're dumber than dirt. So you're in here fantasizing, trying to win an argument by claiming that you're a farmer when you ain't farming shit. I wouldn't hire you to plant a tomato plant in my fucking backyard garden. How's that? Own 3 combines. What's your farm name? Who does your farm supply? Foster's? Let me look up your supply chain, because I know how to do that. I know how to find out the individual farm plots that feed certain food industries. It's a big part of living where I live. So why don't you tell me what your family farm business is, that Mr. 3 Combines? I'd like to look up your family business and maybe make a generous donation. What's your family business, sir? You're a big-time businessman. You got no problem telling me who supplies you. Come on. Text quicker. You're great, Paul. You offer me a window into American politics and zeitgeist. I live in Romania. Cool. Dude, I think I caught you slipping. Snipe. I think I caught you tripping. Snipe. And I think I caught a double dipping. Snipe. Oh, man. Yeah, dude, big time businessman with 3 fucking $3 million combines on a big farm operation, chilling in a fucking YouTube chat in the middle of the night, fucking misspelling every word that they type. Give me a fucking break. See what I meant, though? You weren't prepared. Your lies stink like shit. I called them out immediately because I grew up in farming fucking world. And nothing you said made sense. I asked you what fucking combine company you use. I asked who supplies. I asked who do you supply? Like, who does your product go to? I asked a bunch of questions that you should have had quick answers to, sir. But you got none. Hey, it's Tom Petty. She grew up in a Louisiana town, had a good-looking mama, never was around. What do you do for a living? This. I don't monetize this channel. This I do for fun, but I'm a podcaster and have been for 10 years. My name is Paul Zigo. I used to be on the Drunken Peasants podcast back in 2015, 16, 17, 18. Then I started another show with my co-host, Amazing Atheist, and it's his brother, Scotty. Scotty would hate that. His brother, Scotty. They are my co-hosts, and we do a show called Deep Fat Fried Now. That's how I make my money. Every dime of it comes through that. I'm a business owner. I own an LLC, or I co-own an LLC with my business partners, and that's that. Whatever happened to the Drunken Peasants podcast? So the dudes that owned it, TJ and Ben, disagreed on the direction that the show was needing to go in, and TJ decided to cut bait and leave the show. And Ben bought the show, bought the 50% of the show that TJ owned from TJ, and the rest is history. That's what happens. A lot of creative products or projects end that way. Just kind of the way things fucking hammer out. So. Got a weed question. Which do you enjoy more, flower or vape? Flower. Why? Because that's how I've always smoked weed. I've been a weed smoker since 1993. I smoke daily. I'm a daily smoker. I'm a daily toker. I'm a daily joker. What's the name of your show now? Deep Fat Fried here on YouTube. Or you can look up the Clips channel. We started a Clips channel because our big channel got demonetized by YouTube. It's called Onion Nuggets with a Z at the end. If you search that, you'll find us. Little angry looking onion guy. That's clips from our show. And links in the description to our Patreon and our other channel if you want to catch us live. Yeah? Well, our Patreon pays 99% of our bills. It's a really big, long-standing Patreon, and I think one of the best Patreons for the money on the platform, if not the best. We put up way more shit than your average person does for way cheaper. That was our philosophy from the start. Build a big community of people who support what we do, and we've done that. We have over 4,000 people who subscribe to our show, pay $7 a month or more if they're on the merch tier to maintain that show. And that makes what I do for a living possible. And building an audience is a very, very hard thing to do, which is why when people ask me how to get into this business, I tell them to go find another business to get into. You do offer a generous amount of content. Yeah, I know. I read about Buddhism in high school. Cool. How many podcasts have you done in total? 2. Yeah, I was on the Drunken Peasants podcast, and I came straight out of fucking nowhere onto that show. It was already an established show. I was a guest on it because I was a YouTuber just as a hobby. And I knew a couple of the guys that did the show. They had me on as a guest. The audience really fucking loved me and wanted me back all the time. I ended up getting hired as a part-time guest, and then that parlayed into a full-time gig. And the rest was history as far as that was concerned. I had a lot of like classic contributions to that show. I was a big lightning rod on that show, and that show needed a lightning rod, so I did a really good job for that show. I feel like I'm proud of the work that I did for that show, and all of that, yeah. And then when that show broke up, I chose to go with TJ and his brother to start a new show. And the rest is history on that. We've been doing that for 6 years now, something like that. 7, coming up on 7. Pretty nuts. So yeah. So Allah Charaf has not gotten a new meme since fucking 2016, so he's gonna have to be sent packing for that one. Just an apropos of nothing manatee fucking meme. He's gonna have to take a time out on that one, I think. Did you ever find, oh, the couch from IKEA, another dumb fucking meme from 90 fucking million years ago. My girlfriend Hanba thinks you're pretty rad when she saw you dunk Vegan Gains. Yeah, watch you, dude. I'm Mr. Steal Your Girl. I was pretty rad there, but I'm pretty good at that type of shit, and Vegan Gains is not, so. He was dead in the water as soon as he decided he wanted to talk IP with me. He's like one of those dudes that's dead, but he doesn't know it. It's like you're on a submarine and a rotor broke and it can't surface, but you don't know that yet. That was him. It was like a fucking, like a bobcat wandering into a tiger cage. He just wasn't ready to actually face up to the fucking dichotomy of his positions. And that should be number one. If he's gonna talk IP with people and read from a fucking Destiny script about IP, he should be able to square his fucking IP stance with his fucking animal stance. Period, point blank, end of fucking discussion. Trump wins, do you think he will have Ukraine and Russia make peace? I don't know. He says he will, though. So we'll see. I doubt it. I think he'll probably continue to profit on the fucking war there until there's not any Ukrainians left, and then... well, who knows what then? I certainly don't. Yeah, I caught flack from some people for the hang-up thing on Vegan Gains, but I have a personal fucking thing that I just stick by now, especially because I'm as old as I am now. Dude, as soon as I figure out somebody's wasting my time, I'm fucking done. I go click, I go goodbye, I turn on my heel, I walk out. I don't waste my time with sophists. I don't waste my time with people who are trying to jerk me off and run circles around a conversation. I just don't do it. I like plain thinking. I like plain speaking. I like easy to understand layman talk. That's what I am. Okay, I'm not a college graduate. I'm a blue collar guy. I don't like word games. I don't like over intellectualization. I did take some fucking college. I know some big 50-cent college words. I just don't think they avail you of much clarity when you're talking about simple things like labor or war. War is not simple, war is complex. Yeah, once they've started. I'm an anti-war leftist. I don't believe that there's really any reason other than a direct invasion of the homeland that America should be sending bombs fucking anywhere. His animal empathy isn't real. It's something that he uses to feign empathy with. It's not about being a vegan. It's not about any of the ethical arguments that he makes. It's about being physically superior and morally superior. He doesn't care about the animals. If he did, he'd care about the human animals. He wants to feel superior to everyone. Look at me, I'm super fit. Look at me, I don't torture animals. Look at me, meat is murder. Look at me, Palestinians deserve to be exterminated. You know, like what? Oh, wait a minute, back up. One of these things is not like the other. It's like kindergarten level sophistry. And when I figured out that that's what he was going to do all night, I had no more time for him. Bye. So I came up with what I like to call a scoop question. This is a debate tactic I'm teaching you here, so get out your little notepads, kids, and write it down, okay? Once somebody has given you a weakness, the impulse can often be to attack it. No, you exploit the weakness with a scoop question. You scoop them up into a premise that they can't escape without invalidating a previous premise. And that's what I did to Vegan Gains. I confronted him directly with the unanswerable question of why he has more empathy for a chicken in someone's chicken coop than he does a Palestinian child. And he gave me some fucking crazy answer like, there's not a people genocide, there's a Hamas genocide going on, blah, 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 blah. And I hung up in his fucking face. Click. Yeah, it's on one of the previous streams. You have to just go to this channel and go to the live tab and scroll back, and it's called Vegan Gains something. So it's right there. You could probably also search the Poltergeist Vegan Gains, and it would probably take you there. Yeah, it's on this channel. He popped into the chat while I was sitting out doing one of these, and he was like, hey, you know, you want to come on the show and talk to me? And I was like, sure, I'll go right in right now. And I stopped the fucking stream, and I went in and started a new one. The fact that VG privated his stream, well, he made it a patrons only stream. But yeah, I did no such thing with my version of it, so. And I will do no such thing with it. That's gonna stay up. That's gonna be like a canker sore on Vegan Gains' lip. Ain't nobody gonna want to kiss that motherfucker ever again. Our culture today makes me really depressed. We don't have any traditions or values, not anything in particular, but like a failing empire, and it only took like 20 years. It took a lot longer than 20 years. America has been failing for a long time. It's been like, and that's pretty much every nation state. It's just, it's kind of like a varying stages of limping along for blue collar people. Like things are horrible back then, things are horrible now. There's really been no barometer change if you're a blue collar person. So, you know, I really don't think that this type of civilization works for human happiness. I think you get to choose one. You know, choose convenience and ease and, you know, lack of education and endless entertainment and distraction, or a happy populace. I think you got to pick one of those two things. I don't think you get both. And imagine the sad sacks populating the vegan gangs Patreon. Yeah. How do you fix inflation? Dude, okay, I'm just gonna give you my complete fucking crazy hippie answer to that. You abolish capitalism. All right, let's just be real here. I know everybody thinks that they're a temporarily embarrassed millionaire and they don't want to do anything to capitalism, so it remains intact. So if they win the lottery, they get to be a multimillionaire forever. But that's not going to happen for you. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to be the first guy to tell you that. Mostly people will tell you that will happen to you or can happen to you. But that will not happen to you because the system in which you are supposed to make that money gatekeeps you from it. If your name isn't Sackler or Rockefeller or Musk or Bezos or, you know, whatever, any number of the other fucking billionaire rich fucks, right? Or Trump or Biden, if your name isn't one of those things, then your ass is grass, buddy. And it's capitalism's fault, buddy. So we've got to have a new paradigm on this planet. There has to be an abolition of national borders and a global civilization. It needs to happen about 50 fucking years ago because the world is burning, becoming uninhabitable. People are bitching about it like that's going to make it go away, but not wanting to give up anything to make it stop. Not pressuring their politicians to move on it. They're just letting it get hotter and drier and weirder and fucking more storms, and they're all just bitching. It hasn't gotten bad enough yet, but we're on a downward trajectory. Eventually, it's going to reach that point where you go into the grocery store and oopsie daisy, there's no hamburger meat, and there hasn't been for 6 weeks because it sells out within 15 minutes of it being unloaded on the truck. And then oopsie daisy, there's no chicken now. Now it's just cutlets, pork. Oh shit, now there's just lunch meat. Oh shit, oh fuck, we gotta do something, and it's too late. Because that's the collapse. That's the fucking total collapse. That's the nightmare scenario. Because that's when neighbor starts shooting at neighbor and stealing from neighbor, and it's cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Okay? By the time you start, and when I say you, I don't necessarily mean you. I mean you, if you're the average American, start really caring about climate change, it's too late. If we did everything I said right now, it might be too late. If we abolished capitalism, abolished fossil fuels, abolished plastics, single-use plastics completely, unified the world under a single government with one mandate to protect people's freedom, liberty, and planet, and to provide a good fucking basis for a resource-based economy that takes care of all, cradle to grave. If we did that, if I was a genie and I went sim sim salabim, and I made that so right now, we'd still all die in a flaming fucking Holocaust that's right around the corner. We're triple F fucked. Arctic thawing is releasing more greenhouse gases. It's accelerating. The hotter it gets, the more the ice melts, the more these deposits of methane and greenhouse gases are released into the atmosphere, causing more global heating. It's a fucking death spiral. People think it's not. People don't understand. A global swing of 2 degrees is devastating. We're at like 1.1. We're talking a global median degree shift of 1.1 degrees over the last fucking 20 years. 2 degrees and up is death at the equator. Nobody can inhabit it. That's where a quarter or more of the people on the planet live, on the equator or in the equatorial zone. That's going to be uninhabitable. So if I was a genie or a magician or an alien with infinite power to make anything happen with a flick of my wrist, and I made the world a brother-loving, sister fucking happy-go-lucky fucking paradise, we would all still watch it melt away. Pepperoni, bro. What up, homeboy? A surfer of the internet has landed on me once again. How are you doing tonight, sir? Everybody will have a slip and slide. You know, the whole nine, and we all still die horribly. Yeah, dude. And people want to pretend it's all a fucking joke. It's beyond sad now, dude. People are just baking to death in the streets, and they're like, oh, this fucking climate change shit is a joke. It's like... And that honestly, and I've been saying this for fucking years, by the way, people aren't going to jump off like they need to in this country until the fucking grocery store doesn't have what you need for weeks on end. Once 2 weeks go by and the grocery store doesn't have sundries, people will eat one another. It'll be chaos in the streets. Everything that was built will be burned and torn down by the people that live in it and among it and around it, trying to scrabble every resource they can for their families. And it's going to be death and degradation and collapse. And we're on the road to it right fucking now. And the people that run this country and other countries are doing nothing about it. Zip. They're exacerbating it. They're kicking the can to your children and your children's children. Ah, they'll fix it. Ah, they'll fix it. Ah, they'll fix it. Ah, they'll fix it. Can's being kicked now back past Gen Z. It's beyond crazy. Nobody's doing anything about it. We're all about to burn, and nobody's doing anything about it. You know what the heat index is tomorrow here? 115 degrees. Do you know what it is the next day? 115 degrees. You know what it is the day after that? 113 degrees. When I was growing up in this area, we had maybe 1 or 2 days that went over the 100 every summer. Spent most of the summer in the high 80s, low 90s, mid 90s. It was a hot day, 95. What do you think that looks like 20 years in the future, champ? People won't be living here. People will flee here. The AQI here is something like 21 tomorrow. It's like breathing poison to be out here, and I do it every fucking day of my life. What you think about them apples? Scared yet? You should be. Pissed off yet? You really, really should be. The AQI, Air Quality Index, is at 21 plus tomorrow. That means the amount of pollutants like smoke and smog in the air are above the ratio that makes it healthy for people to be outside. That means when you leave and walk to your car, you're walking through a miasma of unhealthy chemicals. And when you get out of your car and get into your house or your place of work, you're walking through a miasma of unhealthy chemicals. And air from that miasma is being pumped through really shitty grade filters and pumped into every building, so you can never escape it. And it kills you. My mother has had a cough since 2011. It just doesn't go away. She'll never leave because all her grandchildren live here, so she'll suck fucking shit air until she dies of it. So will the rest of my family. Except me. I'm getting the fuck out. But I spent most of my life sucking it, so the damage is more than likely done. Let's put it that way. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Old time she is a flyin'. And that same bright bloom that that same bright flower that blooms today, tomorrow will be dying. There you go. Gather ye rosebuds. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. I'm going to the forest and the ocean. I'm going to the Frosian. I'm literally going to move right smack dab into the middle of the Frosian side. The place I'm living is in the Redwood National Preserve. And today, as I sat here in 108-degree weather, it was 63 degrees there, high. And it goes down to a balmy 50 tonight there, low. And that's what it's gonna be tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day after that. Yo, that's a fucking dream. Dude, Zach, let me ask you a question, homeboy. And you just shoot straight. You want to take a fucking vacation, bro? You want to take a fucking vacation one of these days, bro? What if I fly you out? Put you up. Let you bring your rig and tap me the fuck up and we'll go to the Frosian together, homeboy. Spend a couple days giving me some sick fucking ink. Fly back out, bro. Think about it. I'm not there yet, so I can't do it now, but I'm telling you, when I get there, I'll run it by my wife. I don't think she's gonna have a problem with that. Sick. Did you put it in the fridge?
I mean, I just made it, so I haven't put it in the fridge yet. I heated up the things and put the olive oil and the garlic on.
Oh, okay.
You told me to.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Yeah, then I'm gonna end this then. Hashtag Zach privilege. Well, Zach is like, he's a fucking incredibly talented tattooist, and I want to have him like ink out my fucking hands so I don't have to look at them. I do have like 200 baby snakes to sell before I can take a trip anyways. Well, there you go. Dude, then I will actually hit you up about that sometime in the future, bro. You just bring your rig and your fucking ink. I know that's probably a pain in the ass to fucking pack up, but like I'll put you up. It's a fucking tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful fucking beaches with nobody on them. You can fucking come and go as you please or stay with us. Whatever you want, bro. That'd be a good fucking reset for you, I'll tell you that fucking much, because it was for me. I was there a week, and I just, like, my allergies were better. Just my mental state was better. It's a little bit, like, stressed out because of, like, the trip up there. Took a while for that to die down, but once, like, that third or fourth day kicked in, it was just chill. So chill. I think we might need to do it one more time, too, with an eye towards finding a place, depending on how this, like, the apps pan out over the next few months. You know what I mean? Saying maybe we'll coincide it with Thanksgiving.
I guess we could be a hell of a way out.
Well, we would go up before Thanksgiving, spend some time in that little town, and then finish the drive, right? It would just be at a really bad time through those passes, but we watch the news. We make sure we leave on the right day, and we do it. You know, because I'm doing it in one fucking stripe, you know? So yeah, that might be cool. Dude, giant redwoods, if you've never seen them in person, are fucking flabbergasting in size. Like, Amelia, you'd seen redwoods before, right? Giant sequoias or whatever.
No, you never took me, baby.
Well, we went through them.
Yeah, we went through them, yeah.
So you've seen them now, but you hadn't seen them before. Yeah. And you saw the ones that are by the road that are typically younger trees. You didn't go inland anywhere and see the big giants. There's a drive that's usually open unless there's fire hazard, called the Avenue of the Giants. That's right like 20 miles from the town. And you take that. It's just a long road that takes you past some of the largest organisms on Earth. Like literally trees that are like, it would take you like 3 minutes to walk around. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Bye.